The greatest threat to crypto is not a stablecoin DPEG like we had in the past, Terra Luna ecosystem that has fallen down. The greatest threat to crypto is definitely not an exchange failure. However, there is one factor that can turn the crypto world upside down, and nobody's talking about it. The greatest threat to crypto is Saylor and Microstrategy. Microstrategy is no longer a software company. They are operating like a real-world casino. The company has been purchasing large sums of BTC utilizing the creditors' money. However, in this particular scenario, there has been one major flaw. The real problem is that MicroStrategy has not bought BTC when it was $20 or $30 or $40,000. In fact, they have been buying BTC near the all-time high. When BTC was above $100,000, the system was functioning. The real problem is that MicroStrategy is bleeding. The Wall Street sharks can smell the blood in the streets, and they are coming for Saylor. This dangerous casino game never works in the long term. You can't beat Wall Street. And simultaneously, just when MicroStrategy goes underwater, the Epstein files come out of shadows and destroys the entire BTC agenda. Jeffrey Epstein has funded early BTC development. This is no longer fiction. The entire Satoshi fairy tale is over. And this time feels absolutely intentional. I predict something is about to happen to Saylor, and don't get me wrong, I wish him nothing but the best. But unfortunately, I have a prediction, something is going to happen to Saylor. He might escape to El Salvador, MicroStrategy might file for bankruptcy, and that's going to highly affect the price of BTC. If this happens, an 80% BTC meltdown could be on the horizon. Bitcoin could drop as low as $10,000 and might never recover at all. I'm not sure if it's going to be a bankruptcy. I'm not sure if Saylor is going to disappear under mysterious circumstances, but he's already giving us signs. He's at his breaking point. For the first time, he's finally realizing his mistake and admitting in public that he over-leveraged himself, and you can just feel the change on his emotions. Watch this video out.
I take issue with your question. It's an ignorant, insulting, myopic question. Why do you frame things that way?
But I guess the question more is, though, do you think the market can sustain this many treasury companies? Because we see, especially the smaller ones, almost all of them are now trading at like a significant discount to their NAV.
I think you're just missing the point. You're like the Bitcoin community tends to eat its young. Like they would rather criticize a company that buys Bitcoin than criticize a company that doesn't buy Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you focus upon criticizing the money-losing companies that don't own Bitcoin? Why would you buy them? Why aren't you criticizing them?
No, I agree with that. But it's not that I'm criticizing them. It's just that the shareholders in some of these other treasury companies are getting absolutely crushed. And like, is there any way that some of these companies ever get back to like a 1x MNAV?
Yeah, I just don't accept the criticism. You made an investment in a company. Why did you invest in the company, right? My problem with the premise is you somehow think that it's okay for 400 million companies to not buy Bitcoin, and you like that. And you're going to criticize the companies, the 200 companies that bought Bitcoin. And that's the thing, that's your brilliance?
The thing that I would
How is it brilliant for you to ignore the fact that 400 million companies didn't buy Bitcoin, and somehow that's okay, and you're going to criticize the 200 companies that bought Bitcoin?
No, that's not the criticism I'm making. Because like if
you're just criticizing someone that bought an equity at the wrong price. You're just criticizing someone that bought an equity at the wrong price. Why don't you actually put the focus upon the people that make the investment decision? The companies don't determine the price their stock trades at.
Mm-hmm.
So my point here is, what is your brilliant insight, Danny, that people shouldn't buy Bitcoin? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I think people buying Bitcoin is cool.
Okay, well, if it's okay for Bitcoin, well, what about an unemployed person? You want to criticize them for buying Bitcoin?
Of course not.
Well, what if you have debt? You want to criticize the person with debt for buying Bitcoin?
Of course not.
Well, then why are you criticizing a company for buying Bitcoin?
I mean, I'm not criticizing
If it's a good company that buys Bitcoin, it's better. And if it's a bad company that buys Bitcoin, it's better than it would have been.
If you understand the rules, you can't get played. This is not an accident. This is laying the ground for utility tokens to take over the crypto markets. Speculation has no place in the crypto space anymore. The whole idea of BTC being decentralized is completely falling apart. They rolled out BTC as a testnet, allowed the most brilliant minds on this planet to try to enrich themselves while exploiting bugs on the network. And in the background, they were developing the final version. The XRP ledger solves one by one every single one of BTC malfunctions. XRP is Satoshi's dream, and BTC has no place in the new financial system. And if you are new to my channel, I am predicting the BTC crash since it was near to the all-time high. And you might say, who am I to talk, right? I am not one of those YouTubers that contradict themselves. I am not one of those YouTubers that changes the mood according to volatility. I watch, I see what they are doing right there. They come out and predict a bullish scenario. In the next week, they come out and predict a bearish scenario. And then they can tell you that they predicted everything. You know that 99% of content creators are doing that in the last years, right? When BTC was near the all-time high and everyone was extremely bullish about it, I came out and I exposed the dormant BTC wallets hitting centralized exchanges. I called it an artificial cycle, synthetic bull run. The consequences are already hitting the markets. You can see the results on the charts of the lack of liquidity, less order books, and fewer active participants on the crypto markets. This will be the end of crypto as we know, and a fresh start for utility tokens. Only digital assets backed by solid enterprises like Hedera, Ripple, Stellar, and a few others are going to survive. Mark my words. And I'm giving you a deadline. Come back to this video in 15 months. Set an alarm on your phone. The crypto reset is no longer fiction. That's happening in real time. And day after day, smart money is exiting BTC. And once BTC finally explodes, that capital is going to flow towards the real ecosystems. The settlement layer of the new financial system, XRP, Stellar, and a few other blockchains. This is not a financial advice. Do your own research on Saylor and Microstrategy. He has already lost billions of dollars in the dot-com bubble, and the cycle is about to repeat again. Saylor is trying to break his own records, and this is why they keep promoting BTC to the masses and keep promising magic returns. Super cycle, the super bull run is around the corner. And they have been telling you the same narrative for the last 6 months.
If you look at a 10-year horizon, it's very easy to predict. We're going to go up. If you look at a 1-year horizon, which is like what the most sort of common right. Framework is, 2026, I'm not sure. You may be, I think I have very strong feelings that you will probably be a super cycle.
Be a super cycle?
2026, yeah.
For Bitcoin?
For Bitcoin.
And what super cycle to you means what?
Well, normally Bitcoin follows 4-year cycles historically. If you look at historic data, like every 4 years, there's a all-time high and then there's a drop. But I think this year, given the U.S. being so pro-crypto and every other country is kind of following, I do think we will see this. We will probably break the 4-year right. cycle. Yeah.
Americans do not realize that the United States government is among the largest holders of Bitcoin. Does anyone know that? How about that? The federal government has almost 210,000 Bitcoin, or 1% of the total supply that will ever exist. But for too long, our government has violated the cardinal rule that every Bitcoiner knows by heart. Never sell your Bitcoin, right?
And everything you see on the charts is price going down. Trump's telling you to buy BTC. CZ is promising a super cycle. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think these guys are your friends? Do you really believe they want retail investors to make money? If you can't see the manipulation on the crypto markets, I can't help you out. Billions of dollars liquidated on a daily basis, and your only antidote, your vaccine against market manipulation, is having your crypto in cold wallets, avoid high leverage trading, and just hold. Be patient, and that's your only way to win in the long term. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments, what's your prediction for Microstrategy and Saylor? Do you think BTC is going to drop to $10,000, or we are about to enter a BTC super cycle? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to trade crypto without KYC, I'm going to drop a link in the description of this video for Bitunix Exchange, the exchange partner of this channel. You can withdraw up to $500,000 per day. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to see you in the next video.